everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I hope that you've been finding these trade analysis helpful. I hope that you're following along and actually taking some of these, maybe paper trading or in your demo accounts, or of course, once you get more familiar and more comfortable in your live accounts. So if you haven't already done so, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe and all that good stuff that makes the YouTube algorithms go woohoo. And then definitely let me know what kind of things you want to see on this channel going forward. So today we're going to do something a little bit differently before I go on. Obviously, I need to show the disclaimer that says, hey, this is recorded. Obviously, that only applies to live classes, but also nothing is to be considered legal, financial, or investing advice. I practice high risk, high reward trading. You can follow similar steps with safer, lower risk, lower reward styles. So prior to me going over to the whole MT4 and looking at some of the analysis that we did a couple of weeks ago and looking at, how do I say, the potential trades we have for today, I want to show this. I'm going to go ahead and pull this up real quick. Something we've been able to accomplish in our other classes, just to kind of give you an idea, is all time, we've got about 527,000 pips, right? We do this on Tuesday and Thursday mornings from about 9 to 11, typically go over, as you see, the good, the bad, and the ugly. No, it is not perfect. This is all time. This is 2022. Yes, it's taken a long time. Yes, this is all recorded, but this is from live trade analysis that we do together in class, right? These are all my trade ideas. So a couple people in there who either are prayer warriors or volunteer their time. They help, they build tools, they market their own stuff. Some people contribute through all kinds of different concepts, from counter narratives and all different kinds of ideas, but it's an amazing group of people. So if you have not already done so, please make sure you check the link tree, go to one of those groups that have access to that coaching, and by all means, make sure you join them, join us, and come along for the ride. So with that said, here in a couple of weeks, I will have my own website launched and ready to go, which I'll finally have my own membership as well. So I'm kind of excited. And of course, some technology that's going to be released alongside of that, which I think I'm even more excited for than even the company itself. So what I'm going to start doing with the simplicity trades that we do is something very comparable. When we have in my FX book or a MT4 trading account history, especially when you're managing those trades, there's a lot that goes into that. It doesn't always track as well. It doesn't always come out the way you want, because there's a lot of different entries and exits because you're scaling out of those trades. So having some documentation from classes, for example, is a beautiful way to be. Now, prior to now, I did mess with this a little bit digitally. Otherwise, all of my simplicity stuff has literally been in pretty little notebooks. This one says, when it rains, look for rainbows. When it's dark, look for stars, right? So cute little notebooks, but that's not as easy to get online, right? So when we go ahead and show what we've been able to accomplish with the simplicity trades, I want to be able to bring this up and say, hey, these are the trades we looked at. This is the criteria that is predefined. If we ever change it, of course, we will apply it, in a section and then saying moving below. Otherwise, this is predefined. It's all public. It's all knowledgeable. Everyone has complete duplicatable access to this stuff. So with that said, please make sure you're following along. Try this stuff out in your demo accounts. Trading is as easy as you choose to make it. Now, let's go ahead and go over to the charts and see what we were able to accomplish since, what is that? August 16th. Well, that's 17th on trade time. Let's go take a look. Okay, here we are back at the charts. We're going to go real quick. On August 16th, American time, that's 17th chart time, we were able to look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trades, right? Of those 6 trades, 4 of them won amazingly. 2 of them actually lost, and that's kind of part of trading. Everyone gets so tripped up about that, and they get in their head and they think, oh my gosh, this is never going to work. Trading, again, is as easy as you make it. So first things first, we're going to go ahead and go over those trades real quick, just to show that, social proof, to show if I stop micromanaging and emotionally responding and getting tripped up psychologically, what can I accomplish with set rules? So the purple ones are the ones we looked at 2 weeks ago. I went ahead and highlighted some that we're going to be looking at today. This was kind of our in-between. So we'll end here on GBP Chef. You know that we're always looking from the 1 hour, not because it's the only way to be, but because we're trying to do something that's duplicatable, that you guys can kind of follow along in the same process and say, can we prove it? Can you do it again? Can you duplicate it? And can somebody else have comparable results to what you're doing? That's the whole agenda. So starting with Euro USD CHF, I should say, if I could talk properly, that's always an interesting feat. We were looking for a buy at the break of the fractal. So you can see the crosshairs toward the bottom. That's somewhere in and around here. This is the 16th. As you guys can see, it's a 1300 candle. We'll go ahead and move this over just a smidge so it better tracks. Whoops. And then my Apple mouse goes wonky. So let's try here. We're going to come and say, okay, so the 17th, we know that we're protecting within 50 pips no matter what. That's defined. We've spelled it out 100 times. We know that we're taking it at the break of the fractal. So in this case, we took a couple of these trades right now on that call, and we even notated it. This has moved to over 250 pips. Personally, on this one, I got 191 pips, period. Across the board, easy peasy, no real drawdown, great overall trade. So that was that. I'm going to hit WW, whoopsie, take it off of our watch list. We are done with that trade. Euro CHF was next. This was one of the ones that actually lost. CHF whooped up on me a couple of times in the last couple of weeks, but that's part of trading. We can't win them all. So here's the 17th. If you're looking at the bottom of the screen, we're looking for that 2 o'clock candle. Did this go 50 pips at least to protect? It did not. So how many, my stop loss is going to be here plus 1 ATR. So that's 62. The ATR on this is 14. That's about 75. I ended up losing 95 pips on this from where I entered. So 95 pip loss is what we banked on this one. Cool. It's part of the process. I can live with that. Take that off of our watch list. Euro NZD, beautiful trade. Let's see. We're looking for a buy now on the 17th. Oopsie, let's try this again. The 17th at about 2 o'clock candle. That was that second candle of the day. Evening time US, buy now, which was here. If it will let me zoom in. Give you an idea, that's 217 pips, total of 200 or 300-ish pips. I personally, how much did I get on this one? Euro NZD 204. So 204, definitely not a bad way to be. Did we pull back? Yes, we did. But of course, we had even another entry that we can take. So beautiful overall trade. Next, we've got GBP JPY. I think this was another good trade. It's a little tricky when you're not sure what you're doing because managing is the key, right? Management is always going to be the key. So looking at the bottom of the screen, we know that we were looking at the break of that fractal. We know that no matter what, we're protecting once we hit 50 pips. This in total hit 106 pips. We have pulled back down and we're looking for more continuation. But either way, I got about 107 pips personally on this one. Beautiful trade overall. Done with this. We'll take it off of our watch list. Euro AUD is next. I think that was the other. Which two did we lose? Oh, GBP CHF. I knew that. Hold on. Euro AUD. Okay, I'm looking down at my notes. Another good reason to put it all back digitally. But I do like notes too. So we're looking for a buy on Euro AUD. This moved a total of 202 pips. For me personally, I got 190 out of it. Not a bad way to be. We did come down, make a lower low, and here we go again on this move up. So again, great trade. Overall, in this whole, well, let's go to GBP CHF, which is something we looked at once. We took a loss. This was our second loss of the period. I lost a total of 90 pips, and I'll show you how. But 2000, let's go down here. We're in this range. We're taking at the break of the fractal. First things first, we did not hit 50 pips. We didn't even hit enough for any management, at least not duplicatable management, to have protect. Here's where our stop loss is, 120-ish pips, right? Plus 1 ATR. So I'm going to take out my fancy dancy manager, again, built by one of the gentlemen in the rooms that we coach inside of. And here we go. This is about what we ended up losing. Well, I ended up losing. I actually lost 90, so a little bit more than that, figure in this range, mostly because I had already trimmed out of some with my management. But still, we've got to call a spade a spade. We've got to count for what this would actually be, which is, 100-ish, 50-ish pip loss, because that's what other people would have lost had they not had management. So in my case, I've got management, but still, you guys get the whole idea. Now, those are the 6 trades. Total equal for that 2-week period is about 610 pips. Now, there's a lot of different moves we have the potential to be looking at today, but some of them just aren't quite ready. Now, good news, bad news is technically next week is the first Tuesday of the month. So we're going to only have a 1 week break in between these ones. So kind of a great problem to have in this case with how the market's setting up. Otherwise, there would be about a 2 week gap in between these. So let's take a look at the very beginning. I picked NZD USD for multiple reasons. We know the US dollar is incredibly strong. We know it continues to be incredibly strong. So we have to be mindful of that. Please don't over risk on your USD trades. It's still got a lot of steam to go. Having said that, got a nice simplicity signal. That's a signal for a buy. I'm going to zoom in. Let's clean this up a little bit. We've pulled down into where price broke out before. We've got a pretty tight stop loss. So risk to reward on this trade is stinking beautiful, right? So NZD, USD, buy at fractal break. That fractal break is right here. So for those of you guys who don't know, this is a fractal. At the break of this fractal, I'd be looking for a buy. If you want the earlier entry and the tighter stop, by all means, you can do so now. Otherwise, I'm buying at the break of this fractal in conjunction with the simplicity system. I'm protecting within 50 pips or 1 ADR no matter what. And overall, if I zoom out and make this super ugly, this has a boatload of room to move. So figure that's 180-ish pips. I'm looking to bring this up a little bit further, even still about 250. And from where we're currently at, our stop loss is maybe 50, 60 pips. Even if you wanted to give it daily room, you're still at less than 100. So you're still at a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio, which I wouldn't give it this much room. That's insane. So great overall trade. That's number one. Today, we're looking at NZD USD for a buy on the 1 hour time frame. Next on our list, AUD JPY. Again, simplicity signal, sell down. We have not quite got the continuation. If we zoom in and make it a little bit less ugly. Dun, dun, dun. Here we go. We did. We gapped down. So for now, we're going to pull up. I mean, that's a good 57 pips. Otherwise, you can take it now, or you can wait until it comes back and breaks this fractal. So yes, AUD JPY, sell at fractal. You know the rules. Stop loss is going to be above structure plus 1 ATR on the 1 hour time frame. You're protecting within 50 pips or 1 ADR no matter what. And the rest you're going to manage all the way down, looking to the left for quarter points and structure. So sell on AUD JPY, paper trade these. Come along for the ride and just practice. So CAD Chef is next. I do want to note that this is a scalp trade to me. This is not a long-term trade. Look where we're at on the chart. This is CAD Chef on the 4 hour. We've got quite a few impulses up. I don't love this for a long-term sell. Now, for a short-term sell to go get our 50 pips, is it plausible? It is. Risk to reward reasonable? Yeah. Figure 75-ish pip stop loss and at least 77-ish pips as a target. Gives you about a 1-to-1. This is a short-term scalp. That's all. I'm not taking this until this pulls up. Period across the board. I want to see this pull up quite a bit of a ways first. Chef, sell at, and after. So I'm writing this down. Pullback and at fractal break. So just so we're on the same page, we have to know exactly what we're doing when we enter this trade. So for me, that's a good 77, 80-ish pips down to where this target is, 98 pips in total. I can live with that. I have to be super hyper aware, though. This has definitely got some more room to the top side, though. So longer term biased, I'm looking for the buy on this. Short term, I'm just looking for a quick sell. It's a really quick trade. That's all. AUD NZD. I love this trade. I'm in this trade already, and I will take another entry right alongside you guys. A good 35-ish pip pullback. Otherwise, we've got a 1 hour sell signal from the simplicity system, if I could talk. So from where price is currently at, even if we don't wait for the pullback. Sorry for making you all dizzy. We're going to blame Apple for that. And then you can blame me for choosing Apple, but I still love my apples. So 129 pips, not a bad way to be, right? Even with our stop loss all the way up here, plus 1 ATR structure, you're still better than a 1-to-1. Now, if I zoom out and make this extra ugly and go up a time frame, this has some stinking room. So not only do we have multiple different channels and formations here, I can definitely see this coming into this area, getting a nice pullback and seeing if we finally get the break. So real curious to see how this one plays out overall. Same concept. This is a 1 hour trade idea. We've already broken through. Currently, we're trying to pull back. So on AUD NZD, and we'll write that down together. We're selling at the fractal and after pullback. So I'm already in this. I've got a couple of entries. They've already scaled out of some because some of them were scalps. But still, I want to see this pull back up a little bit, at least to where price broke out. That's a good 15, 20 pips. If you're looking for a more peaceful methodology of trading, by all means, don't wait for the pullback. But if you want the better entry and the tighter stop, wait for the pullback. Go to a smaller time frame and take a baby entry, or of course, take the next fractal break. Totally up to you on how you want to do it. Stop loss is above structure. You're protecting within 50 pips or 1 ADR. Easy peasy. Next is GBP odd, same concept. We've got a buy signal from the simplicity. Here we go. We have yet to get any continuation though. So we definitely want the continuation on GBP odd, right? We want it to break that fractal. So buy at fractal. Let's talk about this one for a second. If we're wrong, I'm going to zoom out, make it a little ugly. Let's assume that this is not turnaround time, that this is not the reversal and it's only a retracement. This is not the reversal and it's only a pullback. 77 pips, is about where my target is going to be. When and if we break above that target, let's do this again. I lost my crosshair. My next target is going to be up here about 290 pips and then all the way up to here about 370 pips. So with that kind of potential, even with my stop loss down here with an ATR room, I'm still at a 2-to-1, 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio. And if I zoom out real big, we've got lots of room on this pullback. For those of you guys who are percentage-based traders, if we dragged a Fibonacci on this, we're still looking up into this range. We don't even need to measure it. We kind of can eyeball that. About 61%, that's 222 pips, well, 212 pips away. Not a bad way to be. So great overall trade on this one, kind of excited. And last but not least, I think we started here, so we may as well stop here. GBP Chef. It already got us once. It got me, 2 weeks ago. Here we are. Nice impulse. We have corrected. We've got a tighter stop loss. So worst case scenario, what if we are wrong? Got 117 pips to 77, 90-ish pips, right? I can live with that. Still better than a 1-to-1, even if we're wrong. And this is only a retracement. But really beyond that, I'm looking for a little bit more. I'm going to zoom in, make it ugly. Super hard to see. It's 273-ish pips away. Definitely love this trade overall. Excited to see it play out. So we'll see. No guarantees. That's GBP Chef. Buy at now. Now, again, the reason why I'm saying now is this is quite a bit of an ask. So I'd much rather have my stop loss be tighter. That's 77, well, 71 plus your ATR. You can obviously choose to have a tighter stop loss. For me and mine, I like to have my stop loss a little bit farther away. For me, it just gets hit less, and that is more, I can deal with that mentally and emotionally better than I can like the constant low blows. I can take the one big blow, it hurts and it sucks and move on, better than I can take the dripping faucet, right? That's the part that just everyone's psychology is a little bit different, and mine does not play well that way. So those are the trades for this week. We've got NZD USD, odd JPY, CAD Chef, odd NZD, GBP odd, and GBP Chef. Total of, what is that, 5 trades? Well, I can't count, 6 trades. Please do go along with me. Come put those in some demo accounts, give it a go. Don't overstress it. Don't overthink it. Stop losses at structure. Your risk percentage should be about that as well. Should be used in your risk. Your stop loss should be using your, no, hold on. Your lot size should be using your stop loss and your risk for consideration, not your targets, if you want to have a duplicatable trading strategy. Although I'm well known for having used the reward rather than the risk, it's just not as duplicatable long term. So with that said, by all means, try it out. If you have any questions, comments, or anything along those lines, please do let me know. Put it in the chat, and we will definitely get back to you as soon as we can. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a beautiful trading week. I hope you've enjoyed your last free month of summer, and I will definitely be talking to you guys, I guess, in a week. So happy September, and we'll talk soon.